the reason people that you may know, would be interested in this is because they may have their retirement funds in mutual funds, or they may have retirement funds, in the stock market, and they're sick and tired of the volatility, and they just want a certain reliable expected rate of return, right? So that, and nothing's coming out of their principal loan amount. So it's a very safe way for their retirement funds to grow.
If you're a real estate investor and are wondering how to raise and leverage private money to make more profit on every deal, then you're in the right place. On Raising Private Money, we'll speak with new and seasoned investors to dissect their deals and extract the best tips and strategies to help you get the money, because the money comes first. Now here's your host, Jay Conner.
We're live. It is a 3 p.m., well, a little after 3 on a Wednesday afternoon. Thank you all for joining. I can't wait for a very special event today. We're going to bring on a special guy. I love Jay. Every time I see him, he puts a smile on my face, and we're always having a great time. So I can't wait to bring him on. And we're going to dive in on some of the crazy things in private money that you all want to know. We got a whole bunch of questions we're going to get through with Jay, and he's got a special giveaway at the end. So you got to stay tuned. Special giveaway. So you got to keep watching the whole time. I see people watching right now. I love it on a Wednesday afternoon. You just want to watch the Al Nicoletti Show, and we're going to have a great time. So stay tuned, take notes. And as you know, I love my fans. I love the super fans, the fans that are tuning in. Stay tuned, stay locked in, get your pads and paper ready. I got mine. Just get it ready, because you're going to ask a bunch of questions, and drop your comments in. We'll make sure they get answered. Your questions, anything you're thinking about, ask away. I love it. Engage with the show. We love the fans. So without further ado, I'm going to get into my introduction as I normally do before the show, because I know you all want to hear it. And then we're going to bring on the most amazing guest I have today, Jay Conner. So here we go. Hey, everybody. My name is Al Nicoletti. I'm an attorney here in Florida, and welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show, where I bring on real estate super investors, rising rock stars, movers and shakers, and leaders of clubs in the community that educate, entertain, and inspire all things on Florida real estate and going beyond Florida, because we're talking to the North Carolina guy today. I mean, we're going beyond that Florida market, but he's going to tell you all about things that could apply in Florida on how you out there can take your company to the next level. So I'm going to bring him on in just like a couple seconds, but this guy needs no introduction. He's going to go through the whole story about like how it started, where he is today. But without further ado, we got to bring on the show Jay Conner, the Private Money Authority. Jay, every time I see you, I'm smiling. I love that you're here. Thanks for being here. I love it.
Absolutely, Al. And I tell you what, to keep up with your energy and with Brittany's energy, I'm going to need to drink me some more lemonade from Sonic, and get it juiced up. But yes, I'm here today, Al, at your request, to talk about the subject that I am the most passionate about, and that is private money. Private money's made more of a difference in mine and Carol Joy's investing career ever since 2003. First time we got involved with private money, it tripled our business and took us to over $1 million net in just the first year back in 2009. And I'm ready, Al, following your direction, to break it down step by step, how I was able to get over $2 million in private money in less than 90 days when I was cut off from the banks.
Wow. We're going to dive in on that, because we need to hear how you're able to do that and get that private money, because so many investors are watching, real estate professionals, whether they're in Florida and you're in that North Carolina market. A lot of people are focusing on the North Carolina market and elsewhere outside of Florida. So we'll dive in on that. How's North Carolina today? I mean, I've never been in North Carolina, but it must be beautiful out there, right?
Well, if I was to raise my shades right here, you would be seeing blue skies and 66 degrees right here on the beach at the ocean. No humidity today. It's like a perfect day here at the coast.
Love it. Love it. I'm so happy you're joining us and you're on. So, Jay, tell everybody, how did you even get into this niche of private money and be the private money authority? What were you doing before all of this? Because you've been in the game a while. So, and you've seen the transition from the way people were marketing before social media. Now you're really using social media. So, like, you've seen a lot of shifts being in that real estate for many years. Tell us that journey. What was that journey like when you first started to now? And what are you focusing on the most today?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I can tell you how it didn't work. I just didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, I think I'll go raise some private money. No, I backed into this thing. In fact, it was a big blessing in disguise. What's that phrase? Something is the mother of necessity. Yeah, it was adversity. And so from 2003, and by the way, just so people know, Carol Joy and I, we're here in a small market. Our total target market is only 40,000 people. 40,000 people
Wow.
is all we're marketing to, but we do 2 to 3 deals a month. And our average profits right now are $71,000 on those fix and flips. And so anyway, as I was saying, we started full-time in 2003, and then until 2009, the first 6 years being in the business, I relied on local banks, mortgage companies to fund our deals. I didn't know what private money was. I didn't know what hard money was. I was just using traditional lending. And I tell you what, Al, I remember what it was like yesterday. We still have landlines here in North Carolina. And so this very phone, I picked up the phone in January 2009, and I called up my banker. Now, my banker's name was Steve. The operative word in that sentence is my banker's name was Steve. Anyway, so I called up Steve. Now, listen, Al, I had this similar conversation many, many times with Steve on doing deals. So I had my lines of credit there, ready to go. And so I called up Steve and I said, Steve, I got 2 houses under contract, ready to buy, ready to close. I got one in Newport, one in Beaufort. I told him the after repaired value and a little bit of details about the deals. And so then Steve does something that's never a good sign. Steve went quiet, like, is Steve still on the phone? Where did he go? Anyway, finally, Steve clears his throat. He says, I'm sorry, Jay, but I hate to tell you, the bank has closed your line of credit. And I said, what? I mean, it's like, has your brain ever heard something someone else say? And you go, I know I did not hear them say that.
Right.
Anyway, I said, Steve, what are you talking about? How in the world, and why did you close my line of credit? He says, well, we're just not loaning out money to real estate investors anymore right now. Many of you all will remember what was going on in 2007, 2008, 2009. So I hung up the phone, no way to fund these 2 deals. And these 2 deals represented over $100,000 in profit that I'm going to make on these 2 houses. So I hung up the phone and I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And right there, I established one of my new mantras back then, Al, and that was, it is impossible for you to fail unless you choose to quit. And quitting was not an option for me. So I called up my buddy Jeff, who lived in Greensboro, North Carolina at the time. He was a real estate investor. And I told Jeff what had just happened. And I said, I've lost my lines of credit. And, what are we going to do? And he says, first of all, Jay, welcome to the club. I said, what club? He said, the club of losing your lines of credit club.
Wow.
He had lost his, the week before. And so Jeff shared with me this concept called private money. I'd never heard of private money, didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of hard money. And so I hung up the phone. I went to putting my private lending program together. So here's what's really, really big and different about the world of private money. And again, I'm not talking about hard money. I've got some really good friends that are hard money brokers and lenders, that go out and raise private money. But in this world, we're talking about going straight to the individuals, straight to the human beings that are loaning money out. And so I put my program together. What will I pay? What will I pay people? What will the term be? What will the frequency of payments be? How can they get their money back in case of an emergency? How is their money secured and all that? So I put my program together. And then, Al, you know what I did? I put on my teacher hat. Mm-hmm. I started teaching people in my network that I know what private money is, and I started teaching them about self-directed IRAs. That's a big part of being successful in this world of private money. Self-directed IRAs. Carol Joy and I have got 44 private lenders right now. Hey, your folks don't need 44 private lenders. Get started with one or two or three. But anyway, I learned that self-directed IRAs, people that have retirement funds, that's a beautiful vehicle for them to earn unlimited money, either tax deferred or tax free. Anyway, so I started teaching people what private money is, started teaching about self-directed IRAs. And within 90 days, I was able to attract $2,150,000. And here's a big secret, Al. Not then, not now, and not since then, I have never asked anybody for money. I've never pitched a deal to one of our private lenders. I simply teach them how the program works, and now they are chasing me. When they learn the program, if they've got investment capital or retirement funds, they're asking me, how can I get started? So it's a beautiful, so it all starts, the success in private money all starts with owning the real estate in between your ears. It's all about mindset. It's all about leading with being a servant, leading with being a teacher. In fact, Al, when I meet somebody new, like in a social event or networking event, and they ask me what I do, my answer is I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money. They have no idea what I said, which is the point, right? But I say, I teach private lenders how to make. Now, they heard me say make a lot of money. And so just answering that question of what do you do? I teach private lenders how to make a lot of money. Well, it arouses curiosity, and it can lead to a new private lender that you've just met.
I think you dropped some great gems in there. I mean, we're going to get into the self-directed IRA stuff because, I mean, you're not just talking about private money, but utilizing that self-directed IRA for doing stuff with private money. But also a great micro that we'll make sure we make for you is the listening, the having that real estate space between your ears. So the active listening and teach, don't pitch. Right. So
that's a rider downer. That's a rider downer. Teach, do not pitch. In fact, Al, I mean, listen to this. So when I say I've never asked for money, here's why it works. First of all, when I'm teaching people about private money, first of all, I don't teach them my private lending program and bring a deal in the same conversation. I'm already desperate. I'm already sounding like I'm begging, right? Oh, here's the program. Will you please fund my deal? Please fund my deal. No, we teach the private lending program. Don't say nothing about no deals, right? And so now they tell us how much they got to work with. Do I need to introduce them to my self-directed IRA company that I refer all my private lenders to? And so now they got funding ready to go. Now they're sitting back waiting. I have never pitched a deal. In fact, when I've got a private lender that's got what I call money sitting on the shelf, right? I call them up and I tell them 4 things. There's only 4 things I tell them about the deal. So let's say you're one of my private lenders, Al, or you're one of my new ones. I'll call you up. I'll say, hey, Al, how you doing? How's the kids? How's the golf game? Chit chat a little bit. But then I get right to it. Here's exactly what I say, Al. I say, and this is magic script right here. I say, Al, I have got great news for you. I can now put your money to work for you. I've got a house over in Newport. It's got an after repaired value of $200,000. The funding required for the deal is only $150,000, and I need for you to have your funds wired to my real estate attorney by next Thursday. End of conversation. I didn't ask them if they wanted to do the deal. That's the most stupid question I could ask them. Do you want to do the deal? Of course they want to do the deal, because they've been waiting for the phone call for me to put their money to work.
Amazing. These are great tips and tricks on how you can really take and elevate the stopping that whole pitch thing, but really talking to people and communicating and building relationships. It's like Brad Blazer talks about, build the relationships with people. And also I'd seen a micro that he was on the show, and he talked about like dressing to impress, right? Like if you're going to an event, look the part, act the part, but also build the relationships with people. And eventually it's not even a pitch or an ask. It's natural to come together, right? Natural stuff. So, Jay, you got to break it down, because I know we had so many questions to get through, but we got to really get the basics down about private money, because I want to learn, and I know the audience wants to learn. I see Trey, you're watching. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. I love the fans, so they're all watching today. So ask your questions, ask away. Love the fans. Anthony, all the way from Naples, Florida. Another great show. Thank you. We haven't even begun yet. Wait till Jay really gets going. This is going to be great. So ask away, ask your questions. Jay, what is private money, and what are the advantages of using private money over other types of money?
Absolutely. So simply put, private money is doing business. Private money is doing business with an individual, right? A human being. So we're not working with hard money lenders. We're not working with institutional money. So what are the benefits to using private money? And the list is long. I'm just going to give you the biggest ones. First of all, overall, using private money puts you in control of your business. What do I mean by that? In private money, we get to set the rules. We set the interest rate. We set the term. We set the frequency of payments. We set all the parameters of it. And of course, when I was borrowing money from the banks, they made the rules. They told me the interest rate. They told me the frequency of payments. They told me the loan to value. So when I say we set the program, that's what I'm talking about. That's the program we're offered. So first of all, it puts us in control. Another big reason of being in control is when you're borrowing like hard money, the most they're going to advance you of the purchase price when you buy is like 65 to 80%. Some may go a little bit more, but that's pretty much the sweet spot. In this world of private money, we get 100% of the purchase price, and we borrow more than the purchase price. And if we're rehabbing the property, we get all the rehab money up front. And people ask me, they'll say, Jay, why would someone loan you more than your purchase price? I mean, aren't they at risk? The answer is the private lender is going to loan you the money because this is a collateral-based loan, okay? We are not borrowing unsecured funds, okay? We're actually getting private money from the lenders, and it's being backed. Their note is being backed by the real estate that we are purchasing. So we're going to get all of our money up front, and I'm going to get multiple checks. In this type of deal, I'm going to bring a big check home when I buy, right? Because I'm buying at a discount, and my conservative loan to value is based off of the after repaired value. So I'll borrow up to 75% of the after repaired value. Well, if I've got an ARB of 200,000 after repaired value, and I bought it for 100,000, which is very common on a rehab, I'm bringing home a $50,000 check when I bought the house. Who wants to buy a house, a piece of real estate, bring no money of your own to the table, and bring home a $50,000 check?
Oh, we're losing him for a second.
I love it. X cash to close. I love the phrase excess cash to close, and I love me some excess cash. So I always bring them a big check when I'm closing. If I sell it on rent to own, I'm going to get another check, non-refundable lease option deposit or an option fee. And then when I cash out the house, then I'm going to get another check, the difference between what I sell it for and what I still owe the private lender. So it puts us in control. We get all the funding up front. And number three, I can do all the deals that I want. There's no limit to the number of deals that I can do using private money. Here's why. If I'm borrowing hard money or borrowing from the bank, there's a limit to the amount of line of credit I can have. There's a limit to the number of deals I can do. But in this world of private money, I can have as many private lenders as I want. I can have as much private money as I want. I can borrow across state lines because we're not regulated by the commissioner of banks. So it doesn't limit my business at all. I got 44 private lenders, got about $8 million in private money that we just use from project to project to project. In addition to that, Al, another big reason I love private money is because I can close quickly. I can close deals in 7 days or less. In fact, my private lenders that have their retirement funds at the self-directed IRA, I get my deals funded in 3 days. That'll never happen if you're using any kind of institutional money. And since I can close so fast, that means more of my offers get accepted, right? Another reason private money is so fantastic is because, in my experience, private money is the fastest way to get your first real estate deal or your next real estate deal. And here's why. You know, you hear all that talk about negotiating with off-market houses or for sale by owners, and you want to buy those houses on terms, buy with creative financing, buy subject to the existing note. And I've bought a bunch of them that way, Al. But guess what? After reviewing thousands of property lead sheets over the years, I have discovered only 13% of off-market, meaning they're not in the multiple listing service, only 13% of for sale by owners will sell to us creatively, subject to the existing notes, seller financing. Well, what do all the other 87% require? All the cash, right? So some people have a misconception that private money is only for the ugly house business or private money is only for rehabbing. That's not true. Private money is used whenever the seller, whether it's a bank-owned property or for sale by owner, when the seller wants and requires all the cash. So again, it just puts me in control. I can make offers on auction.com, bank-owned properties. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Another great reason for private money is there's no hurry to pay it back. For example, hard money is going to be 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months, and then you got to pay extension fees. But not in this world of private money. There's no hurry to pay it back, and you're not under the gun to pay it back. And one last big reason for now, Al, is we can structure deals with no monthly payments. Now,
nice.
Who wants to bring home a big check when you buy and make no monthly payments and have all your rehab money, if you're rehabbing, make no payments until you sell that property, and then your private lender gets all their principal loan back along with all the accrued interest. And one more big one. And
there's more.
Wait, there's more. One more thing about private money is that, if some of your fans are interested in not only single family houses, but maybe some small apartments or duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, guess what? It's all the same money. All we do is just structure it a little bit differently for the commercial than we do the single family houses. So there's a ton of reasons that to use private money. You know what, Al? With private money, you just sleep better. You just sleep better at night because your checking account is full of cash. And in my experience, it actually helps your sex life. So you just need to get you some private money.
Well, now this is going to be last week on the Al Nicoletti Show that private money helps that too. So it's going to be great right there. No, these are all great tips, Jay. All of this stuff about, the best reasons for, the best tips, what types of properties you can use the private money for, whether it's single family, commercial, multifamily, land, whatever it is, it's available. And I like that we kind of went through that, like the what it is, how it is. How do you know, like if you're getting into this game, being that private lender on that side of things, how do you know how to set terms with that borrower? Like depending on the type of property or the amount of money that's being loaned out, how do you know? And also, how are you able to determine the payment back, right? Like you said, like you don't need to do it monthly. How do you creatively structure it so that it's a win-win for everybody and it works out? So like terms, right?
Yep. And that's what I want to do. I do not want to do a deal with anybody unless it actually is a win-win-win for everybody. So here's the bottom line when it comes to payments. I actually let the private lender choose and decide what they want. And here's how that works. For example, some of our elderly private lenders, they actually need the monthly income. They need, in other words, they don't want to touch their principal. They want to keep their principal loan amount, invested, but they just want that money earning money. And here's why. They're scared to death of the volatility of the stock market. And oh, my lands, have we not seen the volatility of the stock market in recent days and recent months? So the older the private lender is, the more they want to keep that principal loan amount, nothing coming out of it. And that's what we tell them. We tell them your principal investment, your principal loan amount is not going to have any fees, no commissions. We pay all closing costs. You're going to get all that money back when we sell the property. And if you need monthly payments, we'll make monthly payments to you. Now, all the payments that we make are interest only payments, not principal and interest. And here's why. That's back to what you just said, Al. It's win-win. Interest only payments to a private lender is a win for them, because if I'm paying them principal and interest, I'm paying down part of the principal every month. And now they don't have all their money invested in that deal. And so they're not making as much money. Interest only payments for me is also a win because it helps cash flow. Interest only payments are smaller than principal and interest. But follow this. You're going to love this, Al, and all your fans will too. What if your private lender needs the monthly income? Well, if you're borrowing your full purchase price, if there's rehab, you're borrowing all that up front, and you're borrowing, in addition to that, money for carrying costs, taxes, and insurance, and you're still keeping it at a maximum 75% loan to value of the after repaired value. If you're making monthly payments, whose money are you using to make their monthly payments initially? Their money.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's their money. So, I mean, how can you not be excited about private money? I buy a property. I bring none of my money to the table. It's totally funded. I got money left over to bring home. And now I start making their monthly payments with their money that they funded the deal with. Now, that money's going to run out. We got to get this house either rehabbed, fixed up, and sold, or get it to the point that we are renting it out or selling on rent to own and getting it cash flowing. But that's a beautiful win-win scenario. And you know, like if I've got a property and I know that one of my private lenders has got investment capital, I will tell one of my private lenders, I'll say, look, I know you got $200,000 sitting on the shelf ready for me to put to work. I do have a quick flip that should take only about 6 months. I'll pay you the same interest, let it accrue. And on this deal, I'll just let the payments accrue and then pay you off with all the accrued interest just at one time. I didn't ask him if he wanted to do it. I just told him on this deal, that's what I would do. However, I know my private lenders. I know which ones need monthly income, and I know which ones like could care less, right? So again, the structuring of the deal comes down to what's going to work for the private lender and for me.
Yeah, no, that's really good to know, because I'm not in that world like you are. Like, you see all those deals and private money and what terms banks are lending out for. And I mean, it's different than what you could do with private money, right? Ultimately, there's a different kind of structure to things. So I just wanted to say, you were talking about sex life equals private money, and Trey's takeaway, that's his takeaway for today. And he goes, should I start an OnlyFans? So Jay Connor is helping people start the OnlyFans because of the private money sector, right? So love it. See, I love when the fans participate like Trey, because it really helps engage and get people talking about things. So that's awesome. Jay, I don't want to forget, but we're going to keep talking about some of these things, but what's this whole thing with the self-directed IRA and private money? I don't want to forget about that, because one of the great guests that I've had on my show is Nate Hare from New View Trust. And when I had Nate on, it was a entire education masterclass on everything from what is self-directed IRA to how do you invest it, what properties you can use it for. But when you brought it up, everybody loves that topic. Everybody loves Airbnb and short-term rentals. And then everybody loves the self-directed IRA because nobody knows what to do with it except keep investing or use your Roth and just let it compound over time. So what's like the one or two big takeaways of the use of self-directed IRAs with private money?
Absolutely. So again, this is a beautiful opportunity for your fans to put on their teacher hat, all right? Learn about self-directed IRAs, but it's really, really simple. So the self-directed IRAs are approved by the IRS. They're also called third-party custodians. And what the IRS allows people to do is to take current retirement funds. It can be a 401k, it can be a Roth IRA, it can be a pension, and it just doesn't have to be an established retirement fund from a previous employer. It can also be a current retirement plan where you're currently working and you've been there long enough that the plan administrator will let you move a portion of your retirement funds over to another custodian. And so the way it works is for people that have a current retirement amount or retirement money, they can transfer it penalty-free, no taxes, transfer it over to an IRS self-directed IRA company. And once their account is funded, then they can loan those retirement funds out to us, to the real estate investor, to our LLC, land trust, whatever entity you're working in, and they can earn an unlimited amount of money per year. In fact, Carol Joyva and I've got one private lender using his retirement funds. In 1 year, earned $65,000 tax-free, right? So this is just a vehicle and a strategy that the IRS approved decades ago. And here's the funny thing. Hardly nobody knows about it. Financial planners don't know about it. I mean, there's just a small percentage of the population that knows about these self-directed IRAs. And so the reason people you may know would be interested in this is because they may have their retirement funds in mutual funds, or they may have retirement funds, in the stock market, and they're sick and tired of the volatility. And they just want a certain, reliable, expected rate of return, right? So that, and nothing's coming out of their principal loan amount. So it's a very safe way for their retirement funds to grow. So here's the actionable thing to do. I encourage everybody to establish a relationship with a self-directed IRA company and one of their representatives. So when you are talking with a new potential private lender, you've already got a contact at the self-directed IRA company that you can now connect your private lender or new private lender too. And so when you come along and teach about private money, hey, look, of all of our private lenders, 0 of them had ever heard of private money. They didn't know what it was. And none of them had heard about self-directed IRAs. And so again, put on your teacher hat and you will have them chasing you.
Yeah. So again, that's another point about the teaching that you talked about in the beginning, right? You learning all of this stuff does take time, right? Learning all about that self-directed IRA and the uses of it take time. And that's why Jay's talking about find a rep from that company like Nate Hare with New View Trust, right? I was just at that conference and in January, and the stuff that they were talking about how you can use it, whether it's through short-term rentals, whether it's through all the other real estate passive investing ways with long-term holds, commercial property. That's a little known tool. I mean, the investors know the world that we are in. We know, but before I was even in this world, I didn't really know what that was. I think the first time I heard about it was Advanta, and then that was another great episode with Larissa Green from Advanta IRA. So there's all these companies, but people don't know about that, and you got to tap into that. But here's what I'd have to ask you: is like you're always teaching it. What are some of the ways and resources all the listeners and investors and professionals can tap into to actively learn this so that they are then in the position you are now to then really build their network and find more private lenders?
Well, so I got 2 answers. The short answer is my giveaway money guide is going to get them on the fast track to learning about self-directed IRAs and that type of thing. But there are 3 main categories, Al, where private lenders are. It's like people ask me all the time, well, where do I find these private lenders? Well, you got the warm market, expanded warm market, and existing private lenders. So let me unpack each one of those for a second. Your warm market, those are people that you already have some kind of connection with, some kind of, relationship with or influence. People that are in your cell phone, right? Those are in your warm market. Your Facebook friends, and I don't mean your fake Facebook friends, but I mean your real Facebook friends, people you know, your email list, your LinkedIn connections of people that you know. So I tell people that's where you start. So the 5 steps of getting money from your warm market is, first of all, make your list. Make your list of potential private lenders from your own warm market. I say start with people that are retired. If you know someone that's retired, there's a chance they've already got retirement funds, and they would be easy for you to share with them about private money, private lending, and self-directed IRAs. Step number 2 is a casual opening conversation with those people on your list. Well, we have the direct method. We have the indirect method. The direct method is asking the direct question, do you have investment capital or retirement funds not giving you a high rate of return safely and securely? We call that the magic question. So, you might be having a casual conversation with someone and you and I are chatting along, and I'll say, well, Al, as you may or may not know, I'm investing in real estate these days, and I've now opened up my real estate investing business to people that I know and trust. I'm now paying high rates of return, insane high rates of return, safely and securely. And Al, I've got a program that may or may not be for you. But unless you answer yes to the following question, there's no need for me to give you any more information. And that question is, do you have investment capital or retirement funds not giving you a high rate of return safely and securely? Now, if Al says, yes, I do have funds that I'm not happy with the return, that takes me to step number 3, which is offering my audio recording called Stress-Free Investing that gives an overview of private money. I say, let the tools do the work. Now, let's go back to step 2. Some people may be intimidated to ask that direct question to somebody that they know has investment capital. Like, Why are you asking me that question? That's none of your business as to whether I've got investment capital or retirement funds. So here's the indirect method. The indirect method in talking with people is asking for their help, asking for them to spread the word. In fact, one of the most powerful phrases that will attract money to you is the phrase in question or statement, I need your help. I'll give you a quick example of that. So when I first started raising private money, when I got cut off from the banks, I was going to church on a Wednesday night, and I knew a fellow there that I'd known for years. His name was Wayne. So I walked up to him in the what do you call it? It's not the auditorium. in the foyer.
Gotcha.
So I walked up to Wayne in the foyer, and I said, Wayne, I got something to visit with you about confidentially after church. Can we visit for a few minutes confidentially? He said, sure. So we sit down, we got Bible study, we got the opening songs, we got the opening prayer, we got Bible study, we got the closing prayer. We finish. Well, I see Wayne making like a little trot over to me from the other side of the auditorium. He comes up to me. You see, the whole past hour, all he's been thinking about is what have I got to talk to him about confidentially. He comes up to me and he says, well, Jay, what you got in mind? I said, let's go down here to the nursery and shut the door. Went down there, shut the door, and here's what I said to Wayne. This is the indirect method. I said, Wayne, you know everybody in this town. And he did. He was the original Zenith television dealer in Morehead City. Now, if you don't know what the Zenith television dealer is, that means you don't remember life without Walmart. That's before Walmart came to town. So anyway, he had put televisions in everybody's house in the county, in the hospital, very involved in the Rotary Club. I said, Al, I said, Wayne, you know everybody. Well, Al, you know everybody too. I said, Wayne, you know everybody. I said, I have now opened up my real estate investing business to people I know and trust, and it's by referral only. And so I'm now positioning my company to take advantage of the tidal wave of bank-owned properties that are getting ready to open up because of COVID. Wayne, I need your help. When you run across someone that's complaining about not making any money in the CDs at the local bank, or, the stock market being volatile, would you refer them to me and I'll tell them about my program? What do you think Wayne said? He said, well, now, Jay, what you got in mind? And I said, are you saying you might be interested? He says, well, we're not making anything in CDs. And he says, what kind of rates have you got in mind? And I said, well, what sounds high to you? He says, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6%. I said, Wayne, I can't pay you 5 or 6%, but I can pay you 8%. He said, put me down for $250,000. Now, I just summarized a 30-minute conversation, but the whole premise to that was, and it takes all the pressure off. I'm not asking anybody for money. I'm asking them for help to spread the word. So step 3, give them the audio CD. Step number 4 leads to the one-on-one appointment. Okay, the one-on-one appointment. That's where we spill the beans and we actually teach the private lending program, which people will learn about in my money guide that I just wrote. And then step number 5 is they've told you how much they got. They gave you a verbal pledge. Just go find a deal just as soon as possible. I think I covered a lot of ground right there, Al.
Yeah, no, you did. And I took a note on the retired people, right? So a lot of them have amassed money over 30, 40 years. And maybe some of them are making some great returns still on the market. As they get older, they're usually told invest in more bonds, not stocks, because there's just more volatility with the stocks later on. So you want to make sure you don't lose money if the market goes down. But then you transitioned it into asking for help in the way that you're able to explain it to them. Because if you're saying it to them and saying, hey, do you have any money? I love to be able to make more on your return now. And they may not be receptive to doing that. So framing it differently, which is what you're talking about, Jay, framing it in such a way that comes across as being able to help their situation or help what they're doing and making more return. right? We can, with some of these annuities and some of these other mutual funds, you could be making 12% year to date on some of those things, right? I mean, or that may be the gross, right? The net may be 8%, but still you could be making more off the private money, which is really interesting to hear all this stuff. I mean, this is all great. All of
Yeah,
this.
well, and a big part of the mindset is you're not asking, you're not selling, you're not chasing, you're not begging. You're actually serving these people. You're serving them by teaching them a way that they can get high rates of return safely and securely. And you're not asking for money. You're just exposing people to something they haven't heard about. Again, lead with a servant's heart. Lead with the program. Don't bring a deal back to them to get funded until they're on board. They've told you how much they got and they're ready to go.
Yeah. Jay, you're active on Facebook. You're active on social media. I mean, I see you go live and you have the show and everything. So you've been in the game for over 20 years in doing this, right? How have you seen that shift from what people were doing back in the early 2000s to now? How are you leveraging social media now to get the word out more about private lending, or teach and explain, and leveraging that social media world, whether through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, on how this can be a model or a thing for investors trying to get into it?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I started back then, there was no social media. I mean, Facebook got started, for the college kids, years ago. But I mean, it was nothing like it is today. I mean, everything back then was direct mail, bandit signs, courthouse foreclosures, etc. So social media has really changed the way we do business. In fact, finding sellers we find on social media and finding buyers we find on social media. I am not a techie guy. And so how I leverage it is I locate virtual assistants that know what they are doing when it comes to social media. And Al, my guess is you do the same thing, right?
Oh,
so,
I love it.
And so I have no desire personally to be on Facebook all day long doing this, kind of stuff. But I have an amazing team of virtual assistants that were already trained on how to do it. And here's the beautiful thing. Some people say, I can't afford that. Well, I think you can afford $5 and $4 an hour for somebody to just handle it for you in automatic that already knows what they're doing.
Yeah, having great assistants. Taylor's out there, so she's watching this. Having great assistants can really help move things along in the social media world with posting, and they know the best times to post and where to post. So that's really key. But I mean, in your world about constantly educating, even the Facebook ads. I've seen you on the Facebook ads, showing the book and being like, here it is. That's the book, The Private Money Authority. And you have to get it today. See, I've seen it, Jay. So you do a great job with using that and those methods. But I guess for you, it's been no different for 20 years. It's the same idea, same principles, and just applying it through an online ethos method. So see, Taylor's watching right now. There she is. And she does a great job with all of the social media stuff, right? So right. You have to have that help to get it to that level. And I mean, you can only imagine business is blowing up. So there's no way to always be on social media. I respond to comments and like and love and all that, but it's a lot of work. But you see it. You see that the industry's changed, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, this is great. Also, can't get off the show without talking about crypto, blockchain, and metaverse. Have you gotten into anything with that, with private money? Have you, or are you just going to say, no, I'll let the new people do that kind of stuff? Are you venturing at all into blockchain or anything?
Yeah, I'm staying in my wheelhouse of real estate.
Stay in your lane. I love it.
I'm
Yeah,
staying in my lane. But look, I want to hear your success stories when we're at the mastermind.
you got it. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not in crypto or a blockchain or any of that. I'm not in the metaverse yet either, right? But you never know what people are doing nowadays with the way things are moving and the way that the world's going. So maybe one day you'll be doing private money in the metaverse. Who knows? I've seen virtual real estate deals. It's like Legoland, Lego virtual land. It seems that way. Yeah, this is all great. So Jay, tell everybody your special giveaway. Everybody that's staying tuned right now, pay attention. Don't get off the screen. You're going to get a special giveaway, and Jay's going to let you have that right now. Go for it, Jay.
You got it. Well, Al, I know you and all of your viewers and listeners have got to know by now that I am passionate about private money and helping people and other real estate investors, new ones, seasoned ones, get private money. And I tell you, Al, I hear it all the time, how real estate investors are struggling to get funding for their deals, right? And I can help. I've got a solution, and here it is. I just finished writing. It's hot off the press, and it's free, absolutely free. It's called The 7 Reasons Why Private Money Will Skyrocket Your Real Estate Business and Help You Build Incredible Wealth. And this will get your people on the fast track to getting in control of their business. They can download it for free at www.jayconner.com/money guide. That's jayconner, jayconner.com/money guide. I promise you, this will be your fastest way to getting plugged into the money and getting in control of your business and having more money. I tell you, when they download this guide, Al, your people will have more money in a short period of time than they can put to work. The average person that's reading this guide is getting at least $500,000 in private money to use in less than 30 days. Get the guide.
Get that guide. Yeah. And we'll make sure we keep that up on the screen there. It's kind of like what Brittany was talking about last week. She's doing less deals and making more money every year that goes on, right? And the same thing that you're talking about, you're able to apply these techniques and learn from it, right? You'll take what you can from it, and you'll get to that next level by hopefully making more money in less time. That's the ultimate goal. Less time, more money is the name of the game.
Absolutely. It's like, as I said, I'm only doing in this small market, only 2 to 3 deals a month using private money to fund them. But our average profit is $71,000 a deal. Those numbers work.
Yeah, that's no joke. What market is that in too? Because making $71,000 off one deal, I mean, I'm sure everybody will drop a comment like, yes, I want that too. What market is that in?
Yeah, so this is in Eastern North Carolina, just 2 counties, Carteret County and Craven County. And our median price point is right now, it's right at $325,000 is our median price. Well, how can you make $71,000 on an after repair value of $335,000? Well, I can tell you, I just bought a house just a couple of months ago. I bought it for $170,000. I put $30,000 in it. So now I got $200 in it, all funded with private money. And I just put it on the market for $325,000. I bought it for $170,000. I put $30,000 in it, put it on the market for $325,000. And in less than 12 hours, I had 2 over asking price offers, all cash, no appraisal.
Wow.
So I mean, on that deal, 170 and 30's 200, selling it for $330, that's $130,000 profit, less realtor commissions. So on that one, that's $100,000 profit. And these are everyday deals because we've got the private money ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, That's called the market is hot over there. People are going over asking, no appraisal, cash buyers, and you're still able to lock that deal up at a really reasonable price considering the rehab. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, people can learn from that. East Carolina, that's interesting. I know the market's been hot there in Texas and Tennessee, and Florida obviously is hot. The prices go through the roof every single day. So this is all great. And Kobe even said, yay on the freebies. You know, I mean, the audience loves having those giveaways. So that's fantastic. Jay, for everybody out there, where can people find you, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, social media? Where can people find you, get in touch with you if they're interested, whether it's the 7 ways or this program? Like, how do people learn more from you? And, you know, where can they find you where you're teaching?
Sure. So on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I do a free Facebook live stream called Free Coaching Friday. So people can just go to Facebook and search for Jay Conner, the Private Money Authority. Jay Conner, the Private Money Authority. Just go there to my page, follow my Facebook page, and they'll be notified when I go live on Friday mornings. And of course, we keep the live streams up there as well. So I typically go about 30 minutes or so on Friday morning answering my followers' questions. And I always bring valuable content on Free Coaching Friday.
Free Coaching Friday. And your podcast too, right?
Oh, yes. I would love for them to follow me on my podcast. Like yourself, you have amazing guests come on your show.
I love my guests. I love the guests. When they're like Jay Conner, amazing.
So anyway, just go to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for Jay Conner, and I am an ER, not an OR. So search for Jay Conner, JAYCONNER, Private Money Academy. Jay Conner, Private Money Academy. And yeah, I'm coming up on my 4-year anniversary on the podcast.
Wow.
And I have amazing guests there as well. We talk about private money there as well. So, yeah, Jay Conner, Private Money Academy. You can find me on the podcast.
What's that been like running it for 4 years? Because, I mean, I think maybe a year and a couple months in, but 4 years seems like, I mean, you probably learned so many techniques and you've probably met so many people too.
Oh, my lands, the relationships of people that I have been able to meet and have on as guests has been so valuable. And, you know, like you, Al, I just don't have anybody and everybody. I have people on that I have already networked with and have a relationship with. I'm in 3 other masterminds. And so I'm able to vet out, you know, the kind of people that I want on the show. And we cover a gamut of topics. So, yeah, I'd love for people to come check out the podcast.
Yeah, go check it out. iTunes, Spotify. Maybe it's on Google Play. I just found out my podcast is on Google Play a couple weeks ago. I had no idea because I keep missing that in the intro.
Well, and I'm on YouTube as well. We got it up on the screen. So just search for Jay Conner Real Estate Investing, and I got a pretty good following there on YouTube as well.
Look at that. Yeah. Subscribe, hit the bell, get the notification. See, we have it all down, right? This is how you follow and find people and keep in touch and connect. So, Jay, it's been so awesome having you on a Wednesday afternoon. It's different for me. I'm usually at night, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., you know, so it's different for me, middle of the day. And I like it. It's nice, right? Take a break, and I'm sure I'm going to flip my phone over. It's going to be like a million calls. But this has been great. Thank you so much for being on. And I know people are going to go back and watch this even tonight and see what's going on. So before we conclude, final words, final thoughts on anything private money, the Private Money Authority, Jay Conner.
Absolutely. Do not make this business complicated. Keep it simple. The money comes first. I hear other people say all the time, oh, just go get a deal under contract. The money will find you. How? Where? Is it going to rain out of the clouds? I mean, how much more confident are you going to feel when you've got $500,000 of funding burning a hole in your pocket to make offers? You'll make more offers. You'll make more confident offers. Make and focus on getting the money lined up first. And then finally, if you are new, do not start this business by yourself. Get connected at the hip with somebody that already knows the ropes, already been through the mines, and knows where the mistakes are. Get yourself a coach or mentor to work with. Do not go this alone. It'll save you a ton of mistakes and money.
Yeah, find that mentor early on that'll guide you through the process. I mean, and with any business, really, you shouldn't be starting it from scratch on your own. You got to really, you got to learn from people's experiences and successes and mistakes and what they've done. And then eventually you can do whatever you want to do after that. But that's a great advice right there, Jay. So this has been great. If you just tuned in or you tuned in late, you got to go back and watch from the beginning. And because Jay went through a whole bunch of stuff, great tips and tricks. We got tons of micro stuff for you. It's amazing. Everything from self-directed IRA to teach, don't pitch, right? So Jay, you are a wealth of information when it comes to private money. You are the private money authority. Thank you so much again for being on. I love it. I can't wait to see you next week. I'll see you then. We're going to get dinner, break bread and everything. It'll be fun.
You got it, man. We got our tickets. We got our hotel rooms. Can't wait to see you and get a great big hug from you, man. I love your heart. I love your servant's heart. And Al, thank you so much for having me on. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you for being here and taking your time, and people are going to check it out. So, I mean, the fans are saying, like Kobe saying, good stuff there. Jay, thanks. And Trey says, great show, guys, as always. So they're watching Wednesday afternoon. Hey, it's a pretty good time right there, right? You know, when are people watching, right? So Jay, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much again. You were awesome.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Wow, that was jam-packed with private money. But not only that, Jay really got down to some of the core principles of what to do when you want to get in the industry, what you can do with private money, some of the things to look out for with terms. You got to go back. If you tuned in late at all or at any point, or you're scrolling through this at night and you get to this point. I mean, if you get all the way to this point, then you've gone through the whole thing, or maybe you're skipping along. But go back to the beginning and learn more about what Jay was talking about, which is teach, don't pitch, really learn about asking for help instead of really just diving in and just pitching these things to people. And I know he's going to go back down and write that teach, don't pitch thing. I know he loved that one right there. So for all the amazing guests that are on the Al Nicoletti Show, make sure you go back on iTunes and Spotify and the YouTube channel under Al Nicoletti. And as always, I have my fan appreciation ending because I love my fans. Trey, thank you so much for being on. Kobe, as always. Taylor's watching. I love that she's watching. And Anthony's watching all the way from Naples. It's so important that the fans are here and engaging. We want to know what you want to know. We want to know more about what you're looking for. So especially being on a Wednesday afternoon, and it's not even 5 o'clock yet, is awesome. So thank you all so much for being on, participating. And you got any more questions, you know how to get in touch with Jay. But if you want to find out more content on like this with Jay Conner and all the amazing guests, again, go check out the YouTube channel, iTunes and Spotify under the Al Nicoletti Show. Or if it's not the Al Nicoletti Show and you want to see videos on probate and quiet title, partitions, and all the weird and different stuff in the real estate world, go check out all the videos. I'm on Instagram at Attorney Nicoletti, Facebook page and the business page and the YouTube channel, all those amazing videos and stuff that are out there that you can learn from and take advantage of learning from all these guests like Jay on season 1, season 2, season 3 of the Al Nicoletti Show. It's a wrap. I will see you. I'm not on next week. Just so you know, I'm not on next week. I'm going to have a replay. I don't know what replay we're going to do yet. Taylor, we got to talk about that one. We got to do a replay. Maybe we'll have somebody that we've done recently too. So we'll make sure that's there. But I'll be on the following week, which will be Nathan Turner on note investing. That was different. I met Nathan at the New View conference. He literally had his booth right across from me. And I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, all in on note investing. So that's going to be really different in about a week, 2 weeks. So check that out. I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for being on and being on the Al Nicoletti Show. Have a great day. See you soon.
Are you feeling inspired by the knowledge you gained in this episode? Then head over to jconner.com/moneyguide. That's jconner.com/moneyguide and download your free guide that shares 7 reasons why private money will skyrocket your real estate investing business right now. Again, that's jconner.com/moneyguide to get your free guide. We'll see you next time on Raising Private Money with Jay Conner.